What is a Pokemon card investor? Well, today we are going to be talking about the difference between an investment influencer and a market influencer right after this. All right, Northwoods Cardboard Gang, today we are going to be talking about what is the difference between a Pokemon card investor influencer and a Pokemon market influencer. Now, there's a lot of different things when it comes down to this, but first, I'm Andy with Northwoods TCG, and today we are going to be taking a deep dive into this subject and have a discussion on what the difference is between the two, because I think there's a lot of confusion right now on what that actually means to be a Pokemon investing influencer and a Pokemon market influencer. There's a big difference when it comes down to it. But first, before we get into it, be sure you guys hit that like, be sure you guys hit that subscribe, and last but not least, hit that notify. Once again, helps the channel out to do that, helps our channel grow and continue us moving forward here on YouTube to help you out with your Pokemon knowledge. So today we're going to be talking about what is the difference between a Pokemon card investing influencer and a Pokemon market influencer. Now, there's a big difference between the two, and I think that there's going to be some confusion. I'm seeing some videos on this that really, to me, they don't understand what the true purpose is of an investing person when it comes down to this market. Now, when I think of an investing person is someone that's usually ahead of the game, right? We're looking at the market, we're looking at the trajectories of certain items, we're looking at the low points of certain items, and we're trying to determine which items are going to do the best. Now, if we are sitting here not discussing things, it doesn't mean that we don't acknowledge that they're happening. It doesn't mean that I don't see that, tag team cards are doing extremely well, or that Astral Radiance is going up a huge amount of money, or that this set product is doing extremely well and has hit all-time highs. That doesn't mean that. The problem is that as an investing purpose, when cards hit all-time highs, when they've already moved 20%, when they've tripled in price in the last 6 months, you're too late. You're missed it. That's the point. If you're investing into something, you need to understand when to buy to capitalize on that gain. Now, someone that's in the Pokemon marketing influencing is going to discuss those gains, right? That is their big bread and butter thing, is how well products are doing. They're going to tell you, yes, in the last 6 months, they've gone up 20%. Yes, in the last 6 months, it's gone from $1,000 to $2,000. Yes, in the last 6 months, it's gone from $100 in value to $450 in value. These were great opportunities, and these Pokemon market is doing extremely well because of these particular items. That is what a marketeering person does. That's what a person that is into the Pokemon market is going to be pushing for influencing. They're talking about the market, and we do that in this channel. We like to talk about the successes of some of the sets and how well they're performing. It shows health, it shows growth. And I know the last two videos, some people are probably a little bit confused, but they were partially satire, I'm going to say that. But second of all, it's to give a reality check that there is a different view when it comes down to the overall Pokemon market. And it is a legitimate view. There is a view that says that the Pokemon market could always subside and we could have some really slow periods of time. And sometimes it's good for people that are watching these channels to have that reality check, to have that critical thinking of, well, maybe it could. Maybe these reasonings are very substantial. And maybe this could be an affection on the market of where this set doesn't perform like I'm hoping it will, or the overall market may slow because of those particular items. That's the only point of those videos a lot of times. I enjoy doing them because it's looking outside the box of just everything's great, everything's doing fantastic that most people want to hear, right? Most people, when it comes down to the Pokemon marketing influencing, want to hear everything's fantastic and it's going great. But overall, there's always that chance, that opportunity that it won't be always great. And that you need to have that critical thought process on videos that overall it will potentially have these issues. And we may see retractions and we may see heavy bull markets that will do really well. And then we'll have extremely hard bear markets and where nothing changes or we see nothing but pull down and retraction on some of these products. So when you're looking at the marketing influencing, that's definitely a big perspective and a big part of it. Marketing influencers in the Pokemon side are definitely looking at that point. Now, when it comes down to Pokemon card investing, we're not talking about tag team cards, tag team sets doing extremely well, right? It's not something that's coming up. Why? Because if you even go on this channel, a year ago I talked about that. I talked about tag team sets, Cosmic Eclipse, going tag team. I told people to buy tag team when it was $800. It just came down to about $800, $785 to $800. And I said, now's the time to buy that set. It's going to go up. It's short printed. It has a demand. The tag team cards are going to hit. It's only a matter of time. We've had these conversations a year ago. I'm not going to bring it up now and discuss that as an investment opportunity. And it's not that I'm hiding it. It's not that I'm upset and I'm trying to keep it to myself. It's because the play is done. It's over with. You've missed the big opportunity on there. Now you're going for the leftovers, and like some other YouTube creators like to call it, which I think is very good. Now you're to a race to the bottom, right? You've already peaked, and now it may be a few more years before that peak occurs again. And that's a big factor when it comes down to the investment side of things. When you're looking at investments, you need to be looking outside the box. You need to be looking futuristically. You need to predict where people are going to go now that tag team boxes are becoming expensive. Now that Sun and Moon pricing is getting up there in price, where are they potentially going next? Now, if you're looking at the long-term scheme of things, if you're looking 10 years down the road for investment, any of the sets will do really well. I feel that there's probably not very many Pokemon sets in general that aren't going to do well in the next 10 years. I think that all of them that are coming out currently are going to have some really good projectability that they will continue to go up in price. It doesn't matter if you buy tag teams even at this point, or any of the tag team sets at this point in time. They're going to continue to move up in price slowly over time. It's just going to become less of them in the market as there's more of a shortage of those. The hype, the FOMO starts to come in, that the fear of missing out really starts to kick in at that point, and the set's getting expensive. I'm going to buy, and then, of course, starts to increase in price again. And that's just a reciprocating cycle that we see in a market. Once again, going back to that Pokemon influencing in the market, you're looking at that reciprocating cycle, and you're announcing when these actually hit that point. The investing side of it is not sitting there hiding the fact that they did really well. They've done well. We knew that they would. I mean, there's a lot of channels out here that I've been saying for over a year to buy these particular sets and to do well. Now, if I'm looking at this from a short-term perspective, I'm definitely not looking at those sets as potential short-term, 3 to 5 year sets. Them are now going to become long-term idle sets. I am looking at the fast-paced market of the modern side. Why? Because that particular area is giving me the most fluctuations. It gives me those highs and those lows. And you have those opportunities to get in low and wait a few months to years, and maybe three to 5 years, and be able to get back out of there with some profitability on those particular sets. The expensive sets don't necessarily have that big gain. When a set's already $2,000, even if it goes from $2,000 up to $2,800, you don't have the gain that you see if a box goes from $100 to $250 to $300, right? So even though it is a big gain in dollar numbers, you can still do better by buying a lot of smaller items now in this volatile market versus trying to get into those markets that have already been matured. They've already seen the growth. So overall, as a channel, when it comes down to an investing side, you're not going to hear very many investing channels talking about the success of Tag Team. It's missed. It's a lost opportunity. Now we're talking about sets that are getting reprints. Why? Because Sword and Shield has gotten some really good reprint opportunities in certain sets, such as Lost Origin, such as Silver Tempest. We're waiting to see if Astral Radiance is going to get a booster box reprint, but because it hasn't, we've seen the market continue to move up on there. Is it possibly a good time to get into them? I think it's a good time to buy any of these Sword and Shield sets currently. That last year of Sword and Shield, from Brilliant Stars all the way through to Silver Tempest, even into Crown Zenith, I think there's some really good buying opportunities currently in that particular market, all of which have seen no maturity yet at this point in time. We are not even out of the full supply of that particular items. Thus, the pricing has stayed relatively in check, and it gives you an opportunity to get into them for a really good price. Now, some of those sets are, of course, going to do better than others. We can go back to the year prior when you look at, of course, Battle Styles, Chilling Reign, Fusion Strike, and, of course, Evolving Skies. Some perform better than others. Some took a little bit longer to actually get traction underneath them, namely Fusion Strike and Chilling Reign. But we had been talking about Chilling Reign and Fusion Strike being opportunities for almost 2 years before they finally did. That's what you do as an investing personality in the influencing side of Pokemon. We are not looking at what is doing well today. If it's already done well, there's no point in covering it. It's already done. There's no point in going in and buying Evolving Skies at $450. How long is it going to take to finally continue to move up? It could go quickly, yes. But you should have been buying it when we were telling you to buy it at $130 to $100. That's when you should have been listening to the Pokemon card investing influencers, was when we were saying, buy it now. $100, steal the deal. Buy this thing. $130, buy it now. Don't wait. Even when I put out there that funny one where I was like, 190, maybe there's a perspective that this will do well. It still was a good buy looking back. Granted, I didn't even capitalize on that one when I talked about it, but overall, the opportunities were there. That's when you need to be looking at Pokemon investing influencers. If you want to know which sets have done extremely well already, and you're trying to get that knowledge of maybe which set might be the next one to invest in, then look at the Pokemon marketing influencers. They've got some really good information on which sets have done well, which sets have gone up in price. And that's why we cover them both on this channel, is because I do think that we need to look at which sets have done well, which ones we've called out well, because it gives us the knowledge to which ones we should be investing in. You shouldn't be investing in Sun and Moon sets at this point in time. Not really the best opportunities in there any longer, just because of the price hike in all of them. Could they continue to go up? Yes. But the problem is that the longer that the market continues up, there's always that bigger potential every single day that there's going to be a stagnation point. And when that stagnation point happens, that is when you're going to be stuck and you're not going to see the gains. And it could be 10 years before you see some real substantial gains. While the more volatile side of the market, such as the modern side of things, where there's still product coming out, we're seeing reprints, you get that opportunity to jump in, will actually be there and give you that opportunity to see a 2, 3 to 5 year gain potentials to outperform some of those higher end prices that are already occurred in the other side of the market. So yes, on this channel, we have talked about tag team sets. We've talked about purchasing Cosmic Eclipse, Unified Minds, Unbroken Bonds, going all the way down through Burning Shadows and all them sets. They actually came up here on the channel a year ago. And I'll put the video up above me. That way you can see it. But yeah, these were all calls that we made because as an investing personality, I was already ahead of it. We were looking at it. We already understood that they were going to go back to that point. It was just a matter of when. And that's the difference between a marketing person and an investing person in a Pokemon scheme. We're trying to pick things futuristically. Sometimes we can't get them all out here either. It's not that we're hiding them. It's not that it's not a play. It's just that it was so quick that there's no point making a video for it. By the time we made the play and had the opportunity to figure it out, it was already passing. It was fleeting. There wasn't an opportunity any longer, or the opportunity was getting so small that it's really not good to send people that are maybe looking for you or myself. I'm going to put me on the platform here. Me, for the knowledge for which ones are going to be the next play. It's not a good opportunity to put them out there because it's already going away. There isn't the play any longer. It's missed. So I'm not going to sit here and share it with you guys because it's already too late. So overall, that's just what I want to talk to you guys about. That's the difference here. We're hearing a lot of people sitting there playing this game that, oh, we're hiding stuff, and oh, you're not saying things, and I'm the victim of things, and this is not happening the way I want it to. And we're hearing these things come out from different channels across certain spectrums of the space, and it's not the truth. It's not how we work. Overall, we've made these calls. These calls have been made, the ones that they're even pulling out saying that we're not telling you guys about because it's an opportunity that we're hiding, and it's not. It's because the opportunity's done. It's over with. Move on to the next one. That's the basic premise of the whole thing, is that if you had been watching this channel a year ago, you would have had the opportunity to buy these. I had several people say that was a really expensive box, and they didn't think it would go up in the price. It did, and I mean, that's just the call that we make. And once again, there is that risk opportunity in there too. You spend more money on something, there's an opportunity it doesn't move. It's always a risk reward system when it comes down to the investing side, and there is prediction. There's a lot of guessing and speculating on what direction the market's going to go. We're taking a lot of gambles that the market's going to hold well, and that we're going to continue to see nice continuous gains on these particular items. And that's just the facts. And sometimes they're worth putting out here, sometimes they're not. But there's no point in going back if you're talking about the investment side of things and what's good investments, going back in time and talking about ones that have already crested or matured and done extremely well just recently. Because if you're at that point, you missed them. And that's just the facts. And that's just how the system works. So if you want to know about how well they've done, look for marketing channels. If you want to know which products you should be looking at purchasing to maybe give you directions for what you're looking for, investing channels are what you're going to want to be looking for. And that's the biggest change that we need to be looking at when it comes down to the overall understanding of this Pokemon realm. Which creators do what and how well they do it is really a big factor when it comes down to it. And that's going to be the bigger things that we want to look at going futuristically. So personally, me, I do about 50-50. I try and tell you how well some have done, but I'm not telling you to buy them at that point in time. But I do look at the ones that I think are going to do extremely well based on previous performance of that set, based on where the overall hobby seems to be trending, and try and get you into positions ahead of time so that you can make the most value for your dollar. So once again, guys, thanks for watching. Hopefully this clears up for some people that are maybe having some confusion on what the differences are in the market. And they're very, very specific when it comes down to it. So once again, guys, thank you guys for watching. If you have made it this far into the video, as always, make sure you hit that subscribe. Make sure you hit that notify. And last but not least, the most important thing to help this channel out, hit that like button. Thank you guys for watching. If you do like this content, check out the two I'm going to put at the end. And we'll see you next time here on Northwoods TCG.